all of you who have joined us for today's webinar. Today, we celebrate the 31st anniversary commemorating Srimati Lakshmi and Menon, who was a legend, I would say a legacy that has been left to us to be inspired and to find what you'd say a kind of model for not only our generation, but the following generations as well. Today, as we celebrate her memory, we remember and we place on record our indebtedness to the great contributions she has made to the women's cause in India and particularly in Kerala. We will start today's program with Vande Mataram and end the program with a national anthem, as Srimati Lakshmi and Menon always wanted programs to begin and end. So can we have Vande Mataram played, Bhuneshwari?
I think Ushaji is going to do it. Ushaji is good.
Yeah. ഒന്നും കേൾക്കുന്നില്ല.
കേൾക്കുന്നില്ല.
Ushaji, the let's not come, Ushaji. Share. Just you can share once more. Only screen sharing has come. The figure has not come.
Stop and start again. Sorry for that.
Vannitilla. WhatsApp in the share ചെയ്യണോ നോക്കണോ?
എവിടെയായിരുന്നു കുട്ടി?
Should I share from my WhatsApp, Ushaji?
Actually, we had practiced, no?
Yeah, we've done it. But I think Ushaji's internet has...
Yeah.
So yes, I have problem with the network. That is why.
Shall I share from the WhatsApp now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you want to try again? Should I? Okay.
You can please do that.
Okay, I'll try to share from that. Is it audible?
Yes.
Yeah. For you.
Thank you, Lakshmi Nandakumar, for that very sweet rendering of Vande Mataram. She is from the Suvarna branch. So our gratitude goes out both to the Suvarna branch as well as Lakshmi Nandakumar. As we gather here today, we are reminded not only of Srimati Lakshmi and Menon, but of the work that she has done with the All India Women's Conference. I would like to tell you something about the All India Women's Conference before we actually go to the introductory remarks about Lakshmi and Menon. The All India Women's Conference was established in 1927, and it is the oldest national women's organization in India, working on empowerment of women for over 9 decades. It has 600 branches all over the country and more than 120,000 women volunteers across the branches and the constituent branches. In Kerala, we have 35 branches and constituent branches. All these branches work tirelessly to spread the message of education, empowerment, and emancipation of women. One of the seminal things that AIWC has been able to do is to occupy an observer status with the UNFCCC, which is the branch of United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. It is also part of the consultative group with the Economic and Social Council of the UN. So its branches are not just national, but I would say it is international as well and contributes constructively to the thinking about climate changes and to the one of those ideals that Lakshmi and Menon also upheld, that is human rights, the value of human rights and the empowerment of women. Here in Trivandrum, we started in 1964 and is affiliated to the 98-year-old national parent organization of AIWC. And all our programs are funded and supported by AIWC New Delhi. We have in Trivandrum the Lakshmi and Menon Institute for Empowerment of Women. It's a training wing of AIWC Trivandrum and is an autonomous unit under Trivandrum. It was established in 2003 to continue the initiatives that were started by the late Srimati Lakshmi and Menon for the emancipation of women. Ashraya is a welfare center for old women in Mudavanmugal run by AIWC and supports the AIWC Public Charitable Trust for Old Age Homes, etc. And here more than 45 old women from poor families are provided regular monthly checkups, free medicines. They have programs, discussions, trips to pilgrim centers, awareness classes, and so on. The center also offers stitching and tailoring to local girls and women. One of our prestigious programs of the Trivandrum branch is the Literary and Cultural Forum, which we have been hosting for the last 4 years. The last 4 years, we concentrated on literary and cultural experiences, and we covered 50 sessions. As a tag to what we launched another series, which is called The Narratives of Personal and Cultural Experiences. And beginning of this month, on November 1st, which is Kerala Piravi Day, we had a session on Her Stage, Her Story, the Women of Kudiyattam by an academic and a practicing artist. So these are some of the highlights of what the Delhi Center and the Trivandrum Center has been doing. Today, as we celebrate the legacy that Srimati Lakshmi and Menon has left us, I think each one of us feels a sense of gratitude as well as an inspiration to follow the footsteps of this iconic, legendary figure. We will have three talks on Lakshmi and Menon, which will cover her life and her works. The early years, that is education and family, will be presented to us by Srimati Bhuneshwari Ravindran, who is from Suvarna AIWC Kozhikode branch and who is a member in charge of climate change program. Srimati Usha Nair of the AIWC Trivandrum branch and who is also a member in charge of license and international agencies will present Indelible Mark in Politics, Diplomacy and AIWC. And the third talk will be devoted to social work and Dr. K.G. Vijayalakshmi, AIWC Charengir branch and member in charge of equity-based education and adult literacy. So we hope that with these three talks, we should be able to cover the great contributions that she has made. But before we go to her talk, I would like to comment on what she has done for India and for the world at large. Lakshmi and Menon, we know, has always been known to us as a stateswoman, as a diplomat. But personally, I feel that what the three pillars on which her contribution stands are international diplomacy, national development, and social reformation. I think these three really covers the entire body of her work, and her contribution is great in these three fields. Now, if we look at the international diplomacy, she left Kerala after her postgraduate studies, went to London, and there she attended a Moscow convention where Jawaharlal Nehru meets her and offers her a position. And that is all history, and most of us know that. But what we do not know is the way in which she was able to go forward with this notion of international diplomacy, mainly because she had an education which covered different disciplines. She started with a BA in history, then moved on to economics and social sciences. And when she went to London, she was actually into a program that was for training educators. And later we know she also studied law. So here was a multidisciplinary, multifaceted personality who believed that it was the holistic development of an individual that could greatly contribute to any serious discussions about international affairs. So that is why she was respected at any forum that she went to, because she could speak with conviction, she could speak with sincerity, and above all, she could speak with compassion. And that was why when Nehru sent her to China to establish diplomatic relationships with India, she could convince them and bring about a good relationship with a country which had always been up in arms against India. And we also know that at the UN Assembly, when she talked about gender discrimination that was happening everywhere, the violation of human rights that was happening, she was the only voice from Asia who spoke up and was able to convince the Europeans and the Westerners that the Asians had a voice which had to be listened to and which had, I would say, the kind of knowledge, the kind of meticulousness with which she could compile facts, and the way in which she would present those facts. I think that was Srimati Lakshmi and Menon. I would, whenever we talk about women's emancipation and women's empowerment, we get this feeling it's a very emotional kind of approach. It's an emotional feminist stand that you make. But for Lakshmi and Menon, it was a humanitarian act. She wanted to bring human considerations to the center. And this she was able to do because she was a woman, because with the patience and the compassion with which she would put forward ideas. And it's also significant to remember that she was an ambassador. She was called a roving ambassador for India. At a time when nations were at war with one another, the Second World War. She was also at the time at the junction where India was getting India's independence. So it was a momentous period in history that she lived through. And her contributions at this momentous period is very, very significant. I think there is no one who could have replaced Srimati LAKSHMI and Menon for the wonderful international diplomacy that she was able to bring to India. The second pivot that I talked about was national development. We know that as the director of LIC, she wanted to bring insurance to every family in India. We also know that as an educator, she wanted to bring illiterate children to become literate. She said, no child should go without primary education, and no child should live with the feeling that they cannot go forward in life. So it was not just education that she was speaking about. She was talking about education for personal development, for social development. And that social development, she knew, could happen only if 50% of the population, that is girls, came forward, educated themselves, and occupied high positions in society. This was empowerment. And this was the reformation of a society that she was talking about. And I think when we talk about social reformation, it's significant to understand that social reformation for her was just not transforming society or bringing the education to the forefront. She had a very scientific temper as well. Often we forget her role in bringing the ISRO, the Space Research Organization, to Kerala. And we know that this, even today, the ISRO is one of the, I would say, the greatest projects, scientific projects that India has. And India is honored for the space research organization it has. Even America, even Russia know that India is capable of space research and space exploration if it sets its heart to it. So all this began because at that time, LAKSHMI and Menon was the Minister of State in the Parliament. So this is again another, I would say, an icing on the cake that LAKSHMI and Menon has given to Kerala. The Space Research Organization that was established here in Kerala, and each one of us, as we look at the space organization, is bound to reflect on the fact that this came because of a woman. And not many people know about it. They all think about the others who have brought the Space Research Organization. But this could not have happened without Srimati LAKSHMI and Menon. So this scientific temper, the science and technology that she wanted to promote, was tagged to the social reformation that she was advocating. So it's on these three pillars, as I said: international involvement at the national level, national diplomacy and national development, and at the social level, the social reformation that she was talking about. So all this is a nutshell of what she has given us. But when you look at her various other contributions, like Kasturba Gandhi was almost unknown for a long time. Only Gandhiji, everybody knew about Gandhiji. And then she brought in the Mother's Day. And the Mother's Day celebrated not just Kasturba, but all women as well. So whatever she had done, in a way, only brought women to the center. And when I know at the AIWC did not have a home to begin with in Delhi, and from some source I read that she even sold her ornaments to help AIWC build its present building. So that was a great contribution that she made. So in spite of all these that she had done for the nation, she was one of the most gentlest and simplest of persons that we know. The simplicity with which she would go around, the simplicity with which she would talk about great things. And I think it is only a great mind that can do that. And during the last phase of her life, she did not just lie back doing nothing. She realized that drugs and alcoholism were the cankers of our society, and she worked relentlessly to make people understand and ban liquor shops, wanted children to get away from drugs. So this is the kind of social involvement that we see throughout her life, where she seems to be doing so many things for so many people. And as we celebrate her 31st anniversary in memory of her, it is a moment when we should reflect with a lot of happiness, as well as a lot of sorrow that she is no longer with us. And we would have loved to have her with us. And there are just a few here, like Veena ji, who has actually known her and been with her during this long journey. So I really feel sorry that I missed her. And I did not live at the time that she was living, so that I would have known her much, much better. So it's with love and with a lot of admiration. I welcome you all to the series and hope that you will follow the three lectures that are going to be delivered, which will elaborate more on what I have just said. And I'm sure these three speakers are going to give us a lot more about her life. So welcome to every one of you, and a warm welcome to all the speakers who are ready to tell us more about Lakshmi and Menon. Before I call the speakers, Kalyani ji is here. Yes, I would ask Kalyani ji to make the presidential remarks.
Thank you, Jamila ji. Thank you so much for inviting me to this event, and good afternoon to all. Actually, Jamila ji, you have given such a beautiful summation of her life that there is really not much to add on. But yes, I mean, we all really recognize her contribution to the cause of education, literacy, and human rights at national as well as international level. And I believe she was the only female of her time, the lone sari clad diplomat, or one of the very few sari, Asian. I think she was the only one, yeah, who sort of made a huge impact at the UN level, advocating for the appropriate language of human right and all, as you mentioned, yeah. And so the only thing what you could, I mean, I could probably add to what you mentioned was, I think, her advocacy about maternal health and family planning. I believe she had also done a lot of work at that time. And I think Gandhi ji was the only one who agreed to her view at that time on the family planning. And AIWC started working on that, during her period little bit. So we celebrated her life yesterday with a very elaborate deliberation by one Dr. Maya John, professor from Jesus and Mary. And she actually spoke about a very relevant topic which was close to Lakshmiji's heart, was the education and literacy, of course. But she spoke on the gaps and challenges from education to employability, because that is one thing which is sort of having a huge impact on the social life of women and the income generation. So that's the topic she spoke about, and we really could dig out a lot of pointers for us to work on future. So yeah, as you said, Lakshmi ji's ethos and her principle and her vision for an empowered world for women, it continues. And as you rightly said, even I am also one of the one who has never met her, but going through her biography, going through her life, it's always been encouraging for all of us. And I think her even we try to keep her legacy alive, I think, through the programs and the grassroots level work with all our branches are doing. You explained about AIWC's work. So we all try to keep alive her legacy and her vision alive. And I'm more looking forward to hearing more about her life from other speakers. So with that, thank you, Jamila ji. Thank you, Usha, for inviting me to this event, and good day to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Kalyanji, for that insightful remarks about the way women's empowerment has been promoted and continues to be promoted by AIWC.
Absolutely.
We will have a first presentation on early years education and family. Bhuneshwari will be talking to us about this. Over to you, Bhuneshwari.
Thank you very much, Jamila ji. You have given such a wonderful introduction. We will only, for me, I will only be filling in the specifics of that and her early years. Yes, actually, I'll proceed to my presentation immediately. And in this segment, I will be talking about her early life, family, some childhood memories, education, marriage, and her career in general. So I'll share my presentation. Please tell me if it is visible.
Yes, it is visible. You can adjust that view.
Yeah. Height floating. Okay. Is that okay? 1 minute. Show video panel. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Now it's okay. Lakshmi and Menon, already Jamila ji has talked about her. She was an educationist, social reformer, lawyer, and a diplomat. And I'll go on to the family background. She was born in a
black square is still appearing on the side, I think. Jamila?
Yeah. Yes,
yeah.
there is a square.
Is that okay?
No, please go to the view and remove that.
Yeah, a little more.
It's okay? Is it okay?
No, there is
still there. Yeah, little more.
Little more if you can.
Sorry. Okay, let me.
Now it is okay. I think you can go with that.
No, it's okay. We can read. It's fine.
Okay. She was born into an aristocratic Nair family in 1899. And this is a picture of her father, M. Ramavarma Tampa. He was, in those days, it was a rare thing, but he was a postgraduate and eminent educationist and reformist. And her mother was Madhavikutti Amma. She left her for heavenly abode quite early, and she had one elder sister and two brothers. This, you can see the photograph here. This is the plain view. This is the ancestral home where she grew up and also spent her last years of life. This house was constructed by her maternal grandfather, and Lakshmi Menon donated this house to Sharda Mission on her death. After her death, this house was donated to Sharda Mission. This is an interview with Madhvi Ravindranath, director AAR, and in this she remembers the day when her mother, Madhavikutti Amma, left her. Lakshmi was only 6 years old, and her mother was also very young, at 24 years. She talks about how her grandmother brought her up. I'll play the audio.
The other things, the next thing that I remember very closely is my mother's death. She was all right. And we used to sit behind her when she played the veena. And I still remember the smell of the oils that she used for the hair and the strains of veena. I used to sleep. Because we used to be fed in those days at about 6 o'clock. And then again woken up at 9 o'clock or so for a cup of milk and so to bed. And then suddenly one fine morning, when we were getting ready to go to school, my father said, the children shall not go to school today. And we were.
Please, please
Sound.
mute.
In the other building where we had the kitchen and did not know what was happening here. Then suddenly, my father said, my mother wanted to see my sister, elder sister, who is 2 years older than myself. And I got very jealous. Why only my sister? What about me? So I also rushed in and found my mother must have been nearly dying. And my father said, the children have come. And she said yes. And then we heard nothing more about it except that she was being prepared to go to the funeral pyre. After that, of course, we did not know what death is, what our loss of mother meant, but we found my grandmother crying and not getting up at all. Then we thought it must be something very serious. And my little brother, who was 2 years old, was taken to see mother, and he did not know anything except that he embraced the servant who was carrying him and cried for him and not for mother. These are all the reminiscences of my very early childhood till my mother's death at the age of 6. And then my grandmother brought us all up, 4 children, and also my aunt's daughter who had lost her mother earlier, and we have 5 children in the house. It must be quite a handful because we were young and very naughty and run about in the big compound, fall, fight with each other, and all these things happened. But my grandmother brought us up, I should say, in the right way, because she taught us prayers. She taught us many things which I still remember, which have guided my conduct and behavior later on. Then other things.
This was her own sound in the interview. And now coming to her school education, her initial education was in Kudipallikuram. For those who may not be knowing what Kudipallikuram is, just it's a neighborhood school. It is run by the families of that area for their own children to study. So she studied there initially and then went for formal schooling in Fort Mission, Maharaja's School, and the school in Paravur. Then her high school final was from Chenganur Government School, which was a boys' school. Here, I would like to mention something. She said to her father, this school was being a boys' school. She could not speak to anyone. She was the only girl there. So she used to feel desperate, not able to speak. So one day she came back and told her father, and her father was the headmaster in that school. She said, if it goes on like this, I'm sure I'll soon forget to speak even. So she felt so bad about being silent. So now about her higher education, she did her BA from Maharaja's College, Trivandrum. She did MA and then went on to do the teacher's training in Lady Wellington Training College, Madras. Then she went to Maria Gray Training College in London. So Jamila ji had already mentioned this. And it was here, while she was here, she happened to go to Moscow, Russia. And there she met Nehru family. And the entire Nehru family was there. And Jawaharlal Nehru was very impressed about her. So this meeting ultimately led him to invite her to join the politics. Of course, after quite some time, later on in 52 or something like that. So that was where the seed was sown for her political career. She did later LLB from Lucknow University after her marriage to Mr. Nandan Menon. So here, talking of her career, I will be speaking only about teaching, her career in teaching. Teaching was her first love. Here, I want to put an emphasis on one of her articles, Second String to My Bow. Here, I've already written. She gives the connection between parliamentarian and a teacher, how these both are complementary to each other. And you can read it on the slide here. Active politics can, a teacher in active politics can raise politics to the level of teaching. I like that. Politicians are also great teachers. Yes. So this is what her view was about teaching and the connection. She went on to Queen Mary's College, Madras, as lecturer and here she connected with Margaret Cousins. Uh, Incidentally, while in school itself, Lakshmi Menon had read about the suffrage movement in Ireland, and where this Margaret Cousins was an active part, played an active part in that. So while in Chennai, while in Madras, she could meet with Margaret Cousins and others in the WA and AIWC, stalwarts like Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay, Muthulakshmi Reddy, Sarojini Naidu, and all. So, and Sarojini Naidu later became her mentor, and she prompted her to join AIWC in 1928. She went on to with her teaching in Gokhale School. Then she was a lecturer in Isabella Theban College, and she was principal in the Women's Training College. It was here, while she was in Patna, that she joined Rajya Sabha. She was elected to Rajya Sabha in 1952 as a Rajya Sabha member. That was on Jawaharlal Nehuru's invitation. She was State Commissioner for Guides in Bihar. And much before that, 1952 it was, and much before that, in 1920 itself, she was associated with girls and girl guides and scouts. And when Mr. V.K. Krishnamenon had started the movement in Malabar, she had initiated movement in Travancore. Now, this is her career as parliamentarian and diplomat. These will be elaborated by other speakers, Srimati Usha Nair and Dr. Vijay Lakshmi. She will be talking about the after politics, after 1996 scenario. So I will not be talking about this slide, except that I want to emphasize here. She was awarded Padma Bhushan in 1957, while that time she was a president of AIWC. And of course, as Jamila ji said, she had a great role in the insurance sector as well. She was director of LIC, and also she had that role in setting up the ISRO. Now, coming to the marriage with Professor Nandan Menon. Professor Nandan Menon was a lecturer in political science in the University of Lucknow when they got married in 1930. And Nandan Menon, I should say that he was an eminent person, academician, and he later on became director in the Ministry of Public Administration, Delhi. Hers was a late marriage. She was 31 years, and they were both qualified and belonged to similar background, social and academic background. They had 44 years of happily married life, but they had no children. Talking about the characteristics of both these eminent persons, they were temporally different, but they were quite compatible. Nandan Menon was a quiet person. He loved quiet life and gentle and calm. But Lakshmi Menon, on the other hand, was always throbbing with energy, always active and exuberant. Here, they had a very clear idea. Lakshmi Menon happily took up all the role of the household, entirely took care of the household. Even when she was a minister, she continued to do that. And Mr. Menon was more than happy to give a free hand to his wife. They both had a common interest of reading, and Mr. Menon had a huge collection of books. These books were donated to the Trivandrum Public Library. Here, I get the photograph of the library. One section has got those books. And actually, Mr. Nandan Menon was a quiet person, but he possessed a subtle sense of humor. I'll just like to say one or two words about that, about his humor. Uh, he likes to keep the books in such an orderly fashion. But whenever there is some misplaced, the books are misplaced, he will definitely ask, "Oh, did Kutiyama pass this way?" Kutiyama means Lakshmi Menon, was called like that at home. Did Kutiyama pass this way? Meaning that she would have disturbed that orderliness. So that is how he used to say. And then again, when some people come visiting them, he will definitely ask them, "Oh, did you see the deputy minister? You should see her first." As though, she was saying that she's the important person. So that is a humor that he possessed and how he spoke. About now, this is an AIWC publication. Here, I have this book. I will tell you. This contains a lot of information which I got for making this presentation. And this is basically the only authentic publication in English about her. She never had allowed anyone to do the biography. She did not do an autobiography as well. There is one Malayalam writing about her, but otherwise Mr. Kumarapillai, and otherwise this is what the only authenticated publication. And this was done released on the first death anniversary of hers on the 1995. And this has a lot of insight. This throws a lot of insight into her character, her abilities, her everything about her behavior. And I just wanted to show you this editorial committee. This is the members of the editorial committee. Very big AIWC stalwarts were there, like Sarojini Varadappan was there, and Shobhana Ranade and all that. And you can see in the second, Srimati Indira Ramakrishna Pillai. She is the patron of Trivandrum branch, and she was also one of the members in that committee. Now, what I had gone through and taken some impressions about her from this book. These are from the articles in that book about her active involvement with AICIW on the eradication of illiteracy. She was a founder of this group, and her passion and commitment for this particular subject. And of course, everyone was vocal in that about the dedication to AIWC and valuable contributions, not only of Srimati Lakshmi Menon, but her husband, Mr. Menon. Sushila Nair and Lakshmi Rakhu, in particular, they have recollected in that how Lakshmi Menon used up her savings. And Mr. Menon actually contributed his own PF savings for acquiring the land for AIWC building. So already Jamila ji had told about Mrs. Menon selling her gold for this purpose, so that we can have the prestigious AIWC building in Bhagwan Das Road today in Delhi. And of how Lakshmi Menon was instrumental in Pandit Nehru inaugurating the AIWC office. So most of the persons in that had remembered her as a friend, philosopher, guide, and mentor. Of course, everybody was unanimous in the view that she had such simplicity, hospitality, and culinary expertise. Her own relatives, in interviews that I had with them, had told about culinary expertise and the hospitality. Now, these are few of the quotes I've taken from that book, Shobana Ranade, Leela Damodar Menon, and others. They talk about her in high, or everybody was having superlatives only to describe her. A guiding star to women in India, bright and outspoken, and woman of strength, etc., etc. So here again, some more quotes from that book. I particularly was very interested in reading, deeply involved in politics, but was not a politician. Yeah, that is what she was. And an attitude of disinterested interest, attachment without attachment. I think when we talk about gods and goddesses, we talk about this. So, and it was correctly Goddess Lakshmi personified. That is what somebody had told, and energetic and inspiring. These were the words with whom, from those who had close association with her. So simple living and high thinking and all that. So this is my last slide, and I would like to thank for giving me this opportunity to make this presentation about such a good, eminent personality like Srimati Lakshmi Menon. There are several other things I would have loved to, but I wanted to keep it short. And so thank you very much. Thank you, Ushaji, for organizing this webinar and giving me this opportunity to make this presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhuneshwari. That really took us into the very personal life of Lakshmi and Menon. And I was also struck as you were narrating the various remarks that were made about her energy and her simplicity. And there was one block which said she was a woman with an iron will, but with a kind heart. I think that really sums up what she is. But to add to what you said about her education, I would also like to tell that she also received the University Award for her proficiency in English when she was doing her graduation. And I think that really stood her in good stead when, as a parliamentarian, she could go up and speak in the parliament. So her proficiency in English, I think Nehru also acknowledged this once, that Lakshmi spoke so well in English. So with that, thank you, Bhuneshwari, for that insight into the private life of such a great personality. We will go on to the next presentation by Srimati Usha Nair, who is a member in charge and licensed with International Agency. And she will tell us about Lakshmi Menon's indelible mark in politics, diplomacy, and her contribution to AIWC. So over to you, Usha.
Thank you, Jamila, and namaskar to all of you. I'm very happy to be here to be speaking about Lakshmi and Menon. I had the good fortune of meeting her and interacting with her several times because my mother was a very close associate, and especially after her return to Trivandrum, after her retirement, they were very closely associated. So I had the good fortune of meeting her and interacting her, but not really working with her. So all that I have learned are from different reports, different articles. So I'll just be sharing with you her life as a parliamentarian, as a diplomat, and of course in her home turf, which is All India Women's Conference. So let me share my presentation, just 1 minute. Can you see my slide?
There is a black thing.
Ah.
Yeah, that will go.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
clear now?
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone.
It's fine.
Srimati Lakshmi Menon, she was truly a leader of international stature. A leader from India, and that too a woman leader who was recognized at the international level as a great leader. A woman who strode the world stage with poise, dignity, and grace. And the well-known journalist, T.J. George, he had this to say: she moved around the world as though it were her own courtyard, which shows the comfort level she had while interacting with world leaders and diplomats. So this Bhuneshwari has already shown you. This is just her career progression. So I will not say anything here. We'll go to the next slide. She was Minister of State with independent charge in the Ministry of External Affairs when Jawaharlal Nehru was the Prime Minister. And Prime Minister himself was holding the portfolio, and she was given independent charge. She made a mark as the Minister of State and earlier as Deputy Minister as well. Before that, she was Parliamentary Secretary to Jawaharlal Nehru for several years before she became the minister. And this photograph you can see, this was a dinner hosted by President Radhakrishnan for the visiting United States President John F. Kennedy. You can see how her colorful personality stands out. In the middle of all those very important people, her colorful personality and her grace stands out. But in spite of all this, she is very soft looking, simple, but she made her an indelible mark in our politics. She had a vital role in shaping India's foreign policy, and after the Chinese war, the Chinese aggression, she was deputed as a roving as ambassador to visit various countries across the world and tell them about India's stand in the conflict. And she managed to bring most of them to appreciate India's stand and stand by our side. Again, she had a great role in advancing Nehru's vision, be it for the Panchsheel, which is the five principles of coexistence, and in the non-alignment movement. That is why I said she was in the Ministry of External Affairs during a very crucial period in India's history, and she could make substantial contributions to all these in all these areas. So this is just two shots I have taken about how she conducted herself in international meetings and international diplomacy. The first is she's speaking at a conference, international conference in London. The other one, she's sitting with Dr. B.C. Roy, who was Chief Minister of West Bengal, and with Mrs. Sun Yat-sen, the wife of Sun Yat-sen. We have all learned about him in our school days. And also I recollect that Mrs. Sun Yat-sen continued her association with AIWC. I am sure it was through Mrs. Menon, and she had made a contribution equivalent to 50,000 rupees when the building was being constructed on 6 Bhagwan Das Road. This is again just to show that she was given the key of San Francisco when she went there. They had a civic reception and she was honored with this. Then her career as a diplomat. There is much more to say about her role as minister, but due to paucity of time, I am not delving into the details. So now we go to her stint at the United Nations. She was alternate delegate at several sessions. Then she attended the third session of the UN Commission on the Status of Women. Then the longer period, more than a year, she was at the UN Secretariat at Lake Success as Chief of Section on the Status of Women in the Human Rights Division. This is where she made remarkable contributions to the working of the UN in drafting of the policy of UN with regard to status of women and about human rights. And her stint at this secretariat is commented upon by many researchers and scholars across the world even now. Those who are conducting research into the UN working and different functions, they always comment on her great contributions in this area. Then she was on the third and fourth committees dealing with social, cultural, humanitarian, all other questions. So she had a very illustrious career at the United Nations also as a diplomat representing India. When the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted in the General Assembly in 1948, she was the head of the Indian delegation and she spoke at that meeting. And this photo, of course, is taken much later. I put it here only because it deals with the UN. Here we can see her with President Radhakrishnan and U Thant, who was the Secretary General of UN at that in 1960s. So more about her contribution to the drafting of the Human Rights Declaration. Before her, Dr. Hansa Mehta was in the committee drafting the declaration, and when Hansa Mehta's term ended, Mrs. Menon was nominated to that committee, and she worked on that committee drafting the Human Rights Declaration. So I'll stop sharing now and let us listen to Dr. Shashi Tharoor telling us about her contribution to the Human Rights Declaration. Bhuneshwari, will you please play that video?
Yes, I'm just doing it.
And I want to tell you that if you look at her time at the United Nations, it was quite remarkable that along with her illustrious female contemporaries like Hansa Mehta, who is now also being rehabilitated a bit in the popular imagination, Begum Hamid Ali, and of course Vijay Lakshmi Pandit, the best known of the lot, sister of Jawaharlal Nehru and president of the UN General Assembly, Lakshmi Menon's role in the United Nations has been recognized and celebrated for her pivotal role in advocating the cause of gender equality during the formative years of the United Nations. Scholars and experts studying India's contribution to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights point out that these Indian women, and these four in particular, the four I've just named, played the most crucial role in the drafting of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Not just, by the way, in the name of women's rights alone, but by ensuring the preservation of secular language and approaches to human rights, and at the same time stressing the indivisibility of human rights and the entire idea of non-discrimination as well as the right to work. I'll give you one example, of course, in terms of the business of gender-neutral language. The draft of the original charter, the original Universal Declaration of Human Rights, had somewhat old-fashioned, or what I might today call patriarchal or paternalistic language, such as all men are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed by nature with reason and conscience and should act towards one another like brothers. So all men and brothers. The assumption was, again, very paternalistic and anything but, I would say, equality was failed to be reflected in the language. That draft was rightly objected to by Lakshmi and Menon. And she said she was the Indian representative to the third committee of the United Nations General Assembly that was trying to adopt this draft. And she said, you have to modify this language. How can you exclude women in this way? And it was her efforts that led to the final text of Article 1 of the UN Declaration of Human Rights, which said all human beings, it now says, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. Even brotherhood was a concession to the men there, but not like brothers, which would have been totally sexist language. So she had an opportunity to speak about her approach during the drafting of the UN Declaration of Human Rights.
Thank you, Bhuvaneshwari. I'll share my screen again. So that was Dr. Shashi Tharoor telling us about how she influenced the texts of the Human Rights Declaration. So we can judge from that how important was her role at the United Nations at that time. Going on to the next slide. Yeah, this is now we go on to the her contributions to All India Women's Conference. Of course, I cannot do justice to the great contributions she made right from the beginning in such a short presentation, and that also just part of one presentation. But I'll try to just highlight some of the issues that she highlighted during her term as the president. Though she joined AIWC only in 1928, she was associated right from the beginning. From the time Margaret Cousins started sending out letters to different native states to organize conferences, women's conferences, and pass resolutions and come to Pune. But she did not attend the Pune conference in 1927 when AIWC was established, because at that time she was in London. And on her return, she became a member of AIWC, and from then till her demise in 1994, she continued to be a stalwart in AIWC. So she said she was a Secretary General, and she was editor of Roshni, which is a journal of All India Women's Conference. And in her own words, I have been through the entire range of offices the conference offers to its members. So she started right at the bottom, and I remember our very senior colleagues telling us how they used to sit in tents when the building was being constructed, because AWC didn't have much money and they didn't have money to pay rent in another place. So they were sitting in tents in the construction site and running the organization. So right from that time, Lakshmi Menon was closely associated with the growth of AIWC. In her presidential address, she became president only in 1955 after many, many years of work in AIWC. So she says, I feel honored to be called upon to take up the responsibility. And then she appreciates the work that AIWC has been doing. And she says that we have achieved much, but then much more remains to be done. There are many other problems which are still beckoning our attention. That is what she said. And just some issues that she highlighted in her first presidential address in 1955 itself, which is, which is 70 years back. 70 years back, she had highlighted these issues. One is a national system for education. She called for a national system of education, which we know is still at the implementing stage with the new education policy. We still have not achieved that full-fledged national system of education yet across the country. But this was her vision 70 years back. And the second thing was national laws for all citizens. She fully believed that all laws should be equal to all citizens of the country, not just by going by region or community or any other division. So that was another thing, and especially the personal laws. Personal laws, she says, while every individual may follow his own religion and every freedom to live by his or her belief, laws relating to social and human relations should necessarily be the same for all citizens. So when it comes to social laws or laws dealing with human relations, there should not be any differentiation based on region or caste or creed or community. This is what she said. And we see that even here, we have not yet reached that level of achievement. And we still are bogged down by so many challenges in achieving this end. Social justice and religion, she says, all religions they proclaim social justice. So instead of talking about religion, why not just say about discuss social justice? Because social justice will enable human beings to live in brotherliness by eliminating the grossness of selfishness, corrupt laws, and inequality. So it is very relevant now. So when we think of all the happenings that are going on in our country and all around us, we see that most of it is due to the grossness of selfishness, corrupt laws, and inequality. So her vision was to have a place where social justice and not religion is emphasized. And she was a relentless supporter for cottage industries, indigenous industries, and along with her illustrious colleague Kamla Devi Chattopadhyaya, she championed the cottage industries at the village level. So here she says that we have to conserve the beauty and strength of traditional designs, the stability of traditional arts and crafts, so that our homes may become reservoirs of strength and beauty. So this was another vision, and both of them did along with Kamla Dev Chattopadhyaya, they did a lot of work to promote cottage industries and especially to involve more and more women. Actually, most of the cottage industries are undertaken by women in homes. So they supported that, and the AIWC also had done a lot of work in this area during her time and before and after also. This is rights and opportunities for women. Again, what she says is very relevant. One, she says that I am an optimist and believe that the bright side is around the corner if only we would work for it. Not that we look for it, we have to work for it, and then we can see the bright side, which is just around the corner. That is a very encouraging thought even today. And the last lines, it is very, very important. It is not enough that we secure rights and opportunities for women. We should also watch and see that these rights and opportunities are not neglected or infringed upon. This is very important because we see that in spite of laws, there are several laws to protect women for against domestic violence, against sexual violence at the workplace, and also many of laws are there, but we see that these laws are not helping women in a big way. So they still, we have to be the watchdog. AIWC has to be the watchdog to see that these rights and opportunities are not neglected or infringed upon. And this is what she said 70 years back. And we have to still emphasize this, and we have to go on reminding ourselves that this is a major duty of social workers like us to see that the rights and opportunities of women are protected and ensured. I'll end with just two quotes. These are from conversations with her close friends and associates. The first one is quoted by Shobna Ranade, who was her close friend. Shobna Ranade worked with Mrs. Menon for a very long time, and she subsequently became president of AIWC and patron. So to her, she says that Mrs. Menon said, I am not tempted by any earthly thing. Whatever comes before me, I accept it with gratitude. In my mind, there is no anger, no yearning, and hence I am fully contented. This gives us a glimpse into the type of person she was. She was very contented, very hardworking, and she harbored no hatred or ill feeling towards anybody. Her only aim was to work sincerely for the good of society. The second quote is this is given by Dr. Sushila Nayyar, again a very close associate of Mrs. Lakshmi and Menon. They both of them together started the All India Committee for Eradication of Illiteracy among Women, and otherwise also they were together in Jawaharlal Nehru's cabinet. So she says that Mrs. Menon told her once, the government will not be able to remove illiteracy in this country, especially among women, Dalits, and Adivasis, for another 100 years. We must make it a people's movement and try to make all women literate by the year 2000. This she said sometime in 1990 or so, when they set up that Council for Eradication of Illiteracy. But sadly, we are not anywhere near this goal even now. But we have to go on working, and we have to ensure that all women are literate. In this respect, one thing that she had demanded is very interesting. She said that on the ballot paper, you must not have symbols. You must have only names written on ballot papers, so that people are forced to learn to read, so that they can see the name of the candidate and vote for that candidate. So don't put symbols. But of course, it was not listened to. Nobody took it seriously. But then when we think of it, it is a very relevant thing. If this is one move which can really revolutionize the literacy movement, if we say that there will not be symbols on the ballot paper and only names, everybody will be forced to take up education and literacy in a very major way and make sure that everybody becomes literate. But of course, it is only a faraway dream, which I don't think we can hope to see as a reality anytime soon. So with that, I will end this presentation. This is a picture of her in her final years, when she was working a lot for de-addiction, when she was heading the organization Alcohol and Drugs Information Center. And this is how we remember her now. Those of us who had seen her in her final years, this is how we have seen her in a simple white khadi sari, and without any ornaments, but still with the grace and beauty of her personality. Thank you.
Thank you, Usha, for that wonderful presentation about her politics, her diplomacy, and how she tried to bring literacy to everyone in the country. So we move on to the next one, the next presentation by Dr. K.G. LAKSHMI, who is the AIWC from the AIWC Cherengir branch. She's a member in charge of the equity-based education and adult literacy. I think she really takes off from what Usha has stopped to it, talking about literacy. So over to you, Dr. Lakshmi, to talk about the last phase devoted to social work.
Thank you, Dr. Jamila. Good evening, everyone. After her colorful journey throughout her life up to 1967, she landed in Kerala in the year 1967. Till 1994, she lived in her ancestral house, Plainview in Trivandrum near Government Secretariat, and where she created a new ecosystem in the city to intervene the issues pertaining to women from the marginalized section of the community. With that end in view, she actively involved with the various organizations in Kerala. Would you please share the video? Slide. Then, yeah. She was actively involved with the various organizations, social organizations in Kerala. Yeah, those organizations are Gandhi Smaraka Nidhi, Mitra Niketan, Vinoba Niketan, Alcohol and Drug Information Center, Kerala Association of Non-Formal Education and Development, University Women's Association, Shastra Sahitya Parishad, Madhya Nirodhana Samiti, Amnesty International, Scouts and Guides, All India Committee of Eradication of Literacy Among Women, Ramakrishna Ashram and Sharada Mission. Would you please the next slide? Next. Yeah. We can see a few of Lakshmi and Menon's close associates in Trivandrum. That is
The one before.
Before, one slide before.
Okay.
Mr. P. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. P.
Yeah.
Gopinathan Nair, he was heading Gandhi Smaraka Nidhi during that time. Then Padma Shri Vishwanathan Mitra Niketan, Mr. K.C. Pillai Trivandrum Hotel, Srimati Gomati Nair, All India Women's Conference past patron, Mrs. Indira Ramakrishna Pillai, very close associate of Lakshmi and Menon. Then P.N. Panikkar Library Movement, then A.P. Udebanu, then Johnson Idayaranmula. These are the main associates, but she was associated with plenty of personalities in Trivandrum city. Then, because of this assignment, we presented this first time in 2022. By the time I interviewed with this Sri Pri Gopinathan Nair, he was heading Gandhi Smaraka Nidhi during that time, but this man is not now he's no more now. Then he remembered many of her tireless activities in the field of alcoholism and how to support women from the substance abuse. And he remembered with gratitude that Lakshmi and Menon, along with Sri Gopinathan Nair and his team, walked throughout the villages, and she was the one who created neighborhood women group, first time in Kerala, for bringing together women to fight, to resist against the alcoholism and substance abuse. It was a new opening in the history of the women intervention in the social substance abuse and alcoholism, as well as the social issues. And he remembered with gratitude that only because of we have created a positive ecosystem in Kerala for resisting alcoholism and substance abuse. Then I interviewed with Prabhajaka Rajamma. She was the spiritual daughter of Acharya Vinoba Bhave. She used to be known as Amma. She was the founder of Vinoba Niketan, and she is also no more now. This Vinoba Niketan is in the interior village in the forest area of Trivandrum city, that is very near to Punmudi. And she was closely, Lakshmi and Menon was closely associating with the Vinoba Kendra, Vinoba Niketan, and she used to visit there, 2 and 3 times in a week. And this organization was one of the oldest organization, started in the year 1954. And she was instrumental in transition of this ashram into women's organization. This is the first women organization in Trivandrum. Then in the year 1975, she declared this organization as the International Women Organization in Trivandrum. Then, under her initiative, Mrs. Menon organized an international women's conference in Vinoba Niketan. This interior forest area, the forest, near to the forest, it is in the forest, still surrounded by forest. Then in 1979, this Lakshmi and Menon, under her guidance, started 30 adult education center in Vinoba Niketan. 30 adult education center. In 1979, the plight of Kerala, the plight of Vinoba Niketan, etc., etc. But in 1 year prior to that, in 1978, she laid the foundation for the first UP school in Meena Valley. She was passionate towards education and eradication of illiteracy. She was promoting women folk to enter into social issues, social activism, etc. When this, after that, she was associating with the Mitra Niketan. Mitra Niketan is also one of the very reputed social organization founded in the year 1956. Then I met, that was founded by Vishwanath, Padma Shri Vishwanathan, and I met Mrs. Sethu Vishwanathan. We used to call her Sethu Chechi. And she said, Lakshmi and Menon was the chairperson of Mitra Niketan from 1974 to 82. You see, simultaneously, she was heading many organizations, Trivandrum. She never find any difficulty to work with other organizations who really work for the upliftment of marginalized section of the community. Then she designed a new social intervention system in Mitra Niketan, that is intervention related to livelihood support of women. That was absolutely new to Kerala. Now we are speaking about livelihood program, etc., etc. But she started in Mitra Niketan the day when she was associating with the organization. Then she was involving with the tribal women, marginalized women, etc., etc. Sethu Chechi was so passionate to speak about Lakshmi and Menon. Then I met, we all know that Mrs. Padmini Nair, she was an young friend of Lakshmi and Menon, and she used to tell that, Lakshmi and Menon was very simple. She was one of the founders of University Women's Association in Thiruvananthapuram. And she used to remember the day the then Vice President K.R. Narayan visited her house. She didn't invite any VIPs. She didn't call for any Patra Sammelanam, press meet, nothing like that. She is so simple. She was so simple, and she hosted the then Vice President's visit in her house in Secretariat, near Secretariat. And she said she used to wear khadi saris, always very simple, etc., etc. And she used to tell that she used to, give saris for me also. I used to wear, still I am keeping a sari in memory of Srimati Lakshmi and Menon. She played a various different, at the same time, to uplift especially women, marginalized women. Then again, she was associating with Association of Non-Formal Education Development, that is Canford. Along with the P.N. Panikkar, she traveled across Kerala. Most of the time, they travel by they walk only in the interior village. There she was propagating education, literacy, and non-formal education. Then P.N. Panikkar's son recollected that she, along with the P.N. Panikkar, Lakshmi and Menon, attended Maraman Convention, and she has delivered a historical speech there during the time of Women Convention, along with the main Maraman Convention. Then after that, she played a key role in ADDIC, that is Alcoholic and Drug Information Center, along with the AP Udayamanu as well as Johnson Diarmula. She was working hard. She was one of the founders of ADDIC, and she was working hard till the end of the day for supporting the women who are under substance abuse. He was fought against alcoholism and substance abuse. Then she was closely associated with the Ramakrishna Ashram as well as Sharada Mission. His association with the Ramakrishna Mission through her husband Nandan Menon, he was associating with the Swami Ranghananda in New Delhi. But Lakshmi Menon was associated with the Sharada Mission more till 1993. She was closely associated, and in 1993 she registered a will to donate her house and property in Trivandrum to Sharada Mission. Then regarding the, Professor Nandan Menon, as you know that he passed away in 1974, and as many people said, he donated some money and everything, and end of the day, Lakshmi and Menon donated the vast number of collections to the Trivandrum Public Library. Still it is a section, Lakshmi and Menon and Nandan Menon's contribution to the future generation. The students, so research students, they used to visit in the library. They gained out of the books they kept in the library in Trivandrum. Then Indira Ramakrishna Pillai, she was closely associating with Lakshmi and Menon. Lakshmi and Menon, she spoke to me like this. She said Lakshmi and Menon was a tireless warrior. She used that word, tireless warrior, and she said it is important. She was a tireless warrior, as well as she fought tirelessly against every injustice that she come across. She is famous for fighting against injustice. And Indira Ramakrishna Pillai told, it is important, her quotings, it is important to recall her contributions to the society, to inspire future generations of women to rise up to the challenges faced by society today. It is really an inspiring sentence for me. That is true. The present generation as well as the future generation should conceive the fire Lakshmi and Menon was kept in her mind, and she was tirelessly fought against the injustice, as well as worked tirelessly for the upliftment of the marginalized sections of the community. Then in this juncture, I would like to share some of my reminiscence also, because I was doing my PhD. My PhD subject was political consciousness of women. So around 1.5 years, I used to visit Lakshmi and Menon in her house in Trivandrum. And every day she used to tell a story. She narrated her experience in politics and all, but she was very enthusiastic to speak about social issues rather than her experience in politics. Then it was so nice for me. She narrated many stories to me when she was working with Indira, Jawaharlal Nehru, and as a foreign, her role in UN and all. When I went to UN 2000 first time, then I was so thrilled to see Lakshmi and Menon's big photograph in the left side of the main UN buildings, with very good narrations, Lakshmi, her contributions and all. So it is actually, I feel that Lakshmi and Menon's life history should include in the curriculum for studies, in all curriculum, not only in the state, but CBSE, ICC curriculum for the future students, future generation. Definitely, there are so many things we have to conceive and implement in our lifetime. We never tired after speaking about Lakshmi and Menon. You can see when Bhuvaneshwari and Usha and I spoke about Lakshmi and Menon, we are not tired. Again and again, we feel to speak about her. With these words, I conclude. Thank you all. Thank you, Beenaji, for sitting a long time in this forum. Thank you so much for all the participants. Thank you, Usha, for giving me an opportunity to speak about this legendary human being, good human being. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vijayalakshmi. It's really mind-boggling to listen to all that she has been able to do in a lifetime. One wonders how it was possible for a lady to have achieved so much in so many different fields and arenas that she has contributed to and made a mark in it.
Yes.
She was not a follower, she was a leader. So with those remarks, I would now open up the forum for interactions. I understand Mr. Johnson is here with us. Would you like to say something? Because you were a close associate of us during her last days in Trivandrum.
Yeah, yes.
Mr. Johnson? I think he has left.
He's still here.
Yes, I am here.
Okay.
Yes.
Would you like to say something more or add to what has already been said?
No, I was watching because I think I'm the only man in this whole group. So that is something very interesting. And I was really, delighted to hear from all of you bringing into the various aspects of the life of Mrs. Lakshmi and Menon, whom I always call my Amma, because it was a strange coincidence that we met in 1973 when I was a college student, pre-degree student, because through a letter, it was just through an inland letter we have been connected. When I saw a piece of her call in the newspaper asking that the society should come up against the menace of alcoholism, then I wrote to her in an inland letter that was the time when I was only 17 years. So I wrote to her that I think not the old people, we should involve the youngsters, particularly the students. And surprisingly, within a week, I got a reply from Amma. She was asking me, we are really interested to see you. I was really amazed to see your letter. And we have Kerala Madhyavarjana Prasthanam, that is the Kerala Temperance Movement. And we are having a meeting at Ernakulam at Mass Hotel. And it will be nice if you can come over there. And I know that as a student, you will not be having any money with you. So I will take care of your expense. It will be great if you can come over to Ernakulam Mass Hotel, that is near the Ernakulam North Railway Station. So so after that, I thought, okay, I will take the challenge, and I went to Ernakulam. And it was so surprising to see all the big guns of the earlier temperance movement in Kerala. And I think only two of us were youngsters. One was Dr. Syriac Thomas. At that time, he was a politics department lecturer in Pala St. Thomas College. Later, he became a vice chancellor. And the other one was the youngest person, was a student. And during that meeting, Amma made a request that we want to form a youth wing. So she has nominated Syriac and myself as the conveners to form the youth wing. And we started the work slowly. And in 1975, we officially formed the Youth Council for Prohibition. So that was the first youth movement. And it was a big change which has occurred after that. We started forming affiliations in colleges, and around 50 to 60 colleges, we have got these Youth Council for Prohibition units. But the real change came basically after 1977 when Prohibition was announced, and Morarji was the vice president of the All India Prohibition Council, along with Mrs. Lakshmi and Menon, where we had the 7th All India Prohibition Council meeting at Rajkot, New Delhi. So Amma said, you as a student, but you should also join for the meeting. And she took care of all my expenses. And A.K. was the chief minister at that time. He said a special coach, AC coach, will be deputed for the participants for the All India Prohibition Conference in Delhi. So I was among that particular group where I could travel along with them. And when I reached Delhi, Amma was very particular that she wants to make me as a speaker in one of the meetings there, where Dr. Sushilaji was also there. And after the meeting, again, I was a student, I was a degree student at that time.
Excuse me, will you be a little precise, because others also want
I will just
come in.
Okay, that's the history.
Yeah.
That started our relationship.
Yeah, please.
And in 1988, we decided to form something different. And like that, the Alcohol and Drug Information Center was formed. And together, we worked together. At that time, she was almost 89 years. So at the age of 90, this organization was registered. And till her last breath, we were together in a lot of campaigns and a lot of things together. And a lot of memories for me, because during the last 4 years of her life, we traveled a lot all over the state and different all over the state, not only in Kerala, but also went to Tamil Nadu, Delhi and all. So it was a really refreshing moment. She was more than a mother to me. She was carrying me like anything. My life was devoted for social work just because of her. And she made a lot of impact through Alcohol and Drug Information Center. And still I remain as a total, my lifelong social worker just because of that though I became a consultant to WHO and United Nations
Yeah.
for different
An
projects.
inspiration for youngsters
So she
as
was
well.
a great
We're
inspiration.
very
Now
happy
I'm
that,
now
yeah.
I'm 69. So looking back, I always remember her even after the 31st death anniversary is coming tomorrow. So always I want to pay my great homage to the memory of our great Amma, who made a lot of change in the society, who has touched so many hearts and minds. And tomorrow we are having a special, the day after tomorrow, we are having a special program in Trivandrum to commemorate her death anniversary
great,
also.
yeah.
Okay, so
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. We have the Secretary General Manjuka. Manjuji, are you here? Yeah.
Yes, I'm here, but I don't need to say anything special. I just want to congratulate you all for a very wonderful seminar. We also had one yesterday in honor of Lakshmi ji, and it is really nice when we have echo, seminars all over the country on something that is so close to the heritage and the legacy of the All India Women's Conference. Congratulations to you, to Usha, to the speakers, Bhuvneshwari, Vijay Lakshmi, and thank you for letting me join.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in and being here to share our views. Anyone
Hello,
else?
Asha.
Asha ji wants to
Yes.
say something? Yeah.
I will just say that since I was associated with Shobana Ranade, so we also used to do this type of function in Pune. And I remember that she always was telling us about her, how she was there and how she has made all these activities. And then I also attended this All India Women's Eradication Literacy. It was yearly. I attended in Calcutta. In Calcutta, when the Renu, this Guha, I think full Renu Guha was also there. She was very old and she liked it so much. She was in her house, but still we had a meeting there. So I remember that thing. That's why I just wanted to say and about her. And it's very nice to hear all the speakers who have said so many things which we were not knowing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Usha, Vijaya, and Bhuvneshwari and yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Asha ji, for joining us and being here to encourage us to do more seminars like this. Kuljit ji is here. You would like to say something?
I'm overwhelmed. So much has been said, as you have already said, that you can hardly imagine one person achieving so much in one lifetime. So I was trying to find out what are the things, still, as Usha also said about illiteracy and all, about drugs also, still the same problem we are facing in most of the states. So I was just thinking if we can move forward with those things and AIWC can contribute in that field. That's what I was thinking all this time. In what way we can give respect and carry on with the legacy she has left behind with us. Thank you so much for arranging
Thank you,
this program.
Kuljit ji.
It was so full of knowledge and very informative. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Beena ji?
Definitely, I must congratulate you all. Usha ji, Jamila ji, Bhuvneshwari ji, and Vijay Lakshmi ji. This is the first time and so much information. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Beena ji, you can hear you.
So much information. Somehow I was very close to her. But this time information, her house, and the first time I see the yellow sari she is wearing. Otherwise, I always see white sari, not yellow sari.
Yes,
This is the first time I saw that picture.
Yes, yes.
So a lot of information is there, and I will not repeat anything that my association with her. Okay, just I want to, because of time is very short. Already we want to listen from you people, but I must say you have collected such information. It's remarkable. So congratulations to all of you, and thank you very much I joined this seminar. This is my luck that
Thank
I
you,
have to be.
Binaji. Thank you, Binaji.
Thank you, Binaji, for joining. We have some messages in the chat box where Manjuji says, excellent presentation, congrats. Harsha Merchant says, very nice, informative, comprehensive. Indrani Ji says, congratulations, an inspiring webinar for all of us. She's here, so why don't you just unmute and talk to us, Indrani Ji? I think she's not there, but then we have Supriya saying, thoroughly enjoyed the session, full of positivity and achievements. All 3 sessions were excellent, describing her life. Feel extremely proud of our leader, Lakshmi and Menon. And Manjuji says, I used to be the treasurer of the All India Eradication Committee at the head office, following many of the seniors. Rekha Sally says, what a glorious life, simply overwhelming. Congratulations to all of you for enlightening us so much. I think that's all we have in the chat box. Anyone else who would like to unmute and comment on? If not, I would request GB. No, before I request GB, I would like Dr. Kamini to sum up and present the vote of thanks.
That was a wonderful evening we had, isn't it? Well, we have heard about a person who's all-rounder, a legend, as Jamila put it, a legend. I don't think we would ever have imagined another lady like her. She was a social worker, she was a Gandhian herself, and then who believed in women empowerment. So she was a complete package. And we are here today to, this webinar is mainly meant for commemorating her 31st death anniversary. And we're very happy that Usha and all of you have done such a wonderful job collecting so much about Mrs. Lakshmi and Menon. So I would like to thank Lakshmi Nandakumar Suvarna for the Vande Mataram video. It was wonderful. Deena Das, President of Samyukta, branch of AIWC for National Anthem video. Dr. Vijayalakshmi of AIWC Chirangate, Bhuvaneshwari Remendran of AIWC Kozhikode for the presentation. I would also like to thank Jamila Bingham for the wonderful introductory remark, and also Usha Nair of Trivandrum branch for all her wonderful presentation. So, and thank you. And I would also like to thank Beena Jain ji, and then Kalyani ji, then Manju Kak ji, Kuljit ji, Asha Deshpande ji for all the views about Lakshmi and Menon. She was such a wonderful person. We are lucky to have heard so much about her today evening. In fact, I have personally met her when I was the principal of the IAS coaching center. I went with my boss, Dr. Ananda Bose, IAS. I went with him to her house. Such a simple person, wearing a white sari, so simple, and carrying on a conversation like you and I are conversing, asking me about my grandfather. She said she knew my grandfather, my children, everything. She was such a down-to-earth person. You would come to love her. I'm very happy that I met her, at least not worked with her. So it has been a wonderful evening. So I should thank Usha ji for arranging this webinar. So thank you.
Before we close, we would like Dr. GB Jivarghese to tell us something about what we are organizing tomorrow. GB?
Jamila ji, one thing.
Yeah.
About Shashi Tharoor's reproduction of his speech by Usha. That was the icing on the cake.
Yeah, correct.
Thank you so much for that. Very nice.
Correct.
GB?
GB is the secretary of AIWC Trivandrum branch, and the function is day after tomorrow, not tomorrow, Jamila. On 1st of
On Monday. Yeah,
Monday.
it's on Monday. GB, you
Yes,
are there?
please unmute. GB?
GB?
We can see her, but
why don't you brief them, Usha? I don't think GB
Yeah,
is
or
there.
if Mr. Johnson is there, he can tell us. Okay, I think GB is not able to unmute. So on Monday, which is 1st of December, we are having a function to commemorate the memory of Mrs. Lakshmi and Menon. It will start with an intercollegiate quiz. The quiz will be based on Mrs. Menon's life and also about drug abuse and de-addiction. And many colleges have given names. I think about maybe about around 10 colleges will be represented there. We'll have a quiz competition. Mr. Johnson will be conducting the quiz, and an ever rolling trophy will be given to the winning college. So that is in the first thing in the morning, and after that there will be a panel discussion on substance abuse and de-addiction. Mr. Johnson himself will be moderating the session, and we hope that a lot of students and youth from different colleges and AIWC members will attend this session. And I hope all of you who are here in Trivandrum will make time to please come. The quiz starts at about 9:30, and the panel discussion will start at about 11 o'clock. So please come and join us in this function. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Usha. Now we'll close this session with a national anthem, which Srimati Veena Das has provided for us from the Samyukta branch at Velanad. The national anthem, Bhuneshwari.
Yeah, I will just share that 1 minute.
So thank you everyone once again for being here with us and
Thank you,
giving us such a
Jamila ji,
good
for
feedback
arranging this
on what we
program
have done.
and for the introduction you have given. Always good, wonderful. We really had enjoyed every moment and very informative. Put in lots of effort by all the people. Thank you so
1
much.
minute, I'll just share it. 1 minute. So it's coming.
Right.
1 minute. No, sorry. I don't know what is happening today.
Do you want me to share, Bhuneshwari?
Yeah, I think so. This is something wrong here. I'll try once more.
Yeah, please do.
Coming here, but it's not getting shared today. One more I'll try. Yeah, it's coming. I'll just share.
Okay.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Oh,
Jamila ji, you're muted. You're muted.
You're muted, Jamila.
Thank you to everyone until we meet again.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we hope to see you again at our next webinar. Thank you, and thank all of you for cooperating with us in making this webinar really wonderful. I think we all enjoyed doing it, and
I think
also.
I must add that Usha's meticulous planning was behind all
Yes,
this. And
that
it
is
has
true.
gone
That is
very
true.
well.
Every time she makes it that it should be a successful thing.
No, but today actually we didn't have to put in too much effort because all these videos we had already shown in our webinar on past presidents.
Okay.
And presented again today. Thank you so
But
much.
it was very nice.
And
It was
Vijay
very nice.
for joining us.
Yes.
And this webinar. Thank you, Jamila, Kamini, all of you who have been part of this journey of our webinars, which we have been carrying on for 4 years. I think total webinars we have crossed 150 now.
Wow. Very nice.
Oh, thank you so much.
But Usha, you should have mentioned that Indira Pillai is Usha Nair's mother. That nobody said. I wanted to intervene.
Everybody knows.
But
No,
still,
I told that.
that homage should have been paid to her. No?
Acha,
Nobody said
Usha-
that she is Usha Nair's mother. I
Usha-
felt like intervening.
Usha,
In my
Anji.
presentation, I told that.
You didn't say that. You didn't say that. I was very
No, I
particular.
said that Ushaji's mother, Indira
No,
Ramukshipillai,
no,
is the
Bhavneshri. I was
editorial.
very particular. I was just, trying to listen that word, but nobody mentioned.
Kushit didn't listen well. That is the
So
problem.
day after when you have that program, you must mention that at that time. Okay?
Usha, Usha, I have one question. Everywhere we read that Human Rights Declaration was done
Hansa
by
Mehta.
Hansa Mehta, and this is the first time that we are saying that it was LAKSHMI Menon who did that.
No,
Changing the wording.
In the committee for drafting the Human Rights Declaration, of which Eleanor Roosevelt was the chairperson, Hansa Mehta was deputed as India's representative, and she continued there. But that was, I think, for a fixed term, or probably she got some other assignment. So after that, Lakshmi Menon was nominated to that committee. But what Shashi Tharoor is speaking about is at the
signing time.
General Assembly session where this was put up for adoption. The Human Rights Declaration was put up for adoption. That is where she objected to this language, and at the last minute, the language was changed to be gender sensitive.
And because everywhere you read Hansa Mehta
I
is the one.
always say Hansa Mehta was the one who changed this from men to human rights.
Yeah.
I
But
always
I think
give this
as he says,
introduction.
they were all in the committee.
Yeah, but now he says this 4 were there in the committee. But I think in my lectures also, I always mention in gender sensitization that Hansa Mehta was the first lady who introduced the word human
correct.
rights.
And no, wherever you read in our reports and anything, it comes also. No, it's always Hansa Mehta. So it's a clarification we got.
She was the first person to be nominated there. And in fact, in our AIWC records, we have letters written by Jawaharlal Nehru to Hansa Mehta to tell her what she should present as India's stand on human rights in the discussions on the drafting committee. So it's very inspiring to go through all that correspondence
I know.
in our library.
Even yesterday's talk was so good because that lady is still doing research and she is going through all AIWC papers at the Nehru Memorial Museum.
Okay.
So it was excellent.
Yeah, good to hear that somebody is making use of the treasure of papers that we have.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So let us end the meeting here, and we hope to see you all in the next webinar. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Vijay Lakshmi. Bye. See you.